Okay, so we are live now. So I'm going to hold on for like 2 to 3 minutes for people to start joining us before I start the introduction and we start the program proper. So just hold on for me, sirs. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sirs. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sirs. Okay, people are joining us. So just in about 2 to 3 minutes time, we're going to start the program. Thanks so much for waiting. Thanks for joining us. So thank you for joining us. We are going to start the program soon. We are waiting for more people to join. In about 2 to 3 minutes, we start. Thank you so much. Okay, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. We start the program soon. By 4:10, we start the program. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so thank you for joining us. We are going to be starting the program very soon. We are just waiting for more people to join. In the next 3 minutes, we are starting. Thanks so much for joining. All right, thank you for joining us. We are starting very soon. In about a minute or so, we are going to start. Thanks so much for joining. All right, so we are going to start now. Thanks so much for waiting. Thank you so much. Sorry for delaying you, scholars. I'm really sorry. Pardon me. Yeah. So my name is Musba Busari. I'm one of the HISF coordinator, and I welcome you to another mini webinar series that we normally have every month in HISF, All Sport International Scholars Forum. And today I'm very happy because we have some of our guys, in fact, the main organs of HISF amongst us, the main founders of this particular great organization. And I must say thank you to them for honoring our invitation. So today we are going to be talking about a very important topic. In fact, let me say this is actually very important because we've all faced rejection, we've all collected, we've received love letters that we've not been happy with, and it's not really easy to stand up after receiving rejections. So today we are bringing you another electrifying sections of our mini webinar series, and we've crafted this with hope to rekindle your dreams and to reshape strategies for aspiring scholars that intends to apply for new for in the United States, probably Europe, probably Middle East, and all over the country. Scholars that are looking for opportunities to study, we brought this particular edition to you. So this edition is specially curated for those who face setback in their grad school journey. It has not always been easy. Some people do two, three, four times before they finally got that 1 years, while some people apply just once and they get that 1 years. So we are here for those people that have gotten a lot of rejections, a lot of love letters. We are here for you to let you know that you're not alone, and at the same time, it's not right to give up. By bringing this program to you, we are going to be hearing from two of our main founders in this great institution. And I'm going to start by introducing my oga first. I'm going to start by introducing Dr. Gafari Lukman. But we really don't call him that on the platform. In fact, everybody know him as Lukgaf because he's our boss. So I'm going to be reading a few his introduction for us to know who is going to be speaking to us first. So I'm going to go over his introduction so we can listen, we can know more about the people we are going to be hearing from. So Dr. Gafari Lukman is a mathematician and cognitive scientist and is currently serving as a CNRS UNCP postdoctoral fellow, the Institut Genicode, France. He is the founder of Oxford International Scholarship Forum. Thank you so much for giving us this great platform, sir. We are always going to be appreciated. Thank you so much. And is deeply committed to educational outreach and mentorship. With years of experience guiding students through scholarship application, Dr. Gafari is well versed in the requirements, strategies, and processes essential for securing academic funding. His mentorship has helped numerous students across international opportunities and further their education. He also founded Math with UGAF, an initiative dedicated to simplifying mathematician instruction by teaching it in Yoruba language, thereby making the subject more accessible to native speakers. The platform currently hosts over 500 instructional videos on mathematics, computer science, and statistics. His work has been featured in library, radios, and television stations and has earned him recognition for its social impacts. So thank you very much, Dr. Gafar. We are really, really happy you are able to join us today. Thank you very much. So the second speaker we are going to be having immediately after Dr. Lugaf is Dr. Theorem. Most people know him as Theorem Afrondi, but his name is Dr. Kainde Temitope. He's one of our guy in this great organization as well, and we are happy he's able to join us despite his tight schedule. So I'm going to be reading his citation as well, so we know more about him before he starts talking. So Dr. Kehinde Temitope is an interdisciplinary researcher and professional with a solid academic foundation in industrial and system engineering, complemented by extensive experience in data-driven research, smart manufacturing, machine learning, and financial analytics. His expertise lies in developing advanced decision support systems that integrate data envelopment analysis (DEA), predictive analysis, portfolio optimization, and machine learning models for complex industrial, financial, and operational challenges. Throughout his academic and professional journey, he has always demonstrated strong leadership, problem-solving, and project management capabilities, delivering impactful solutions in both academic and industry-driven settings. With proven expertise across consulting, research, teaching, and collaborative industry projects. Kehinde Temitope is passionate about applying analytical rigor and innovative methodologies to optimize business processes, support informed decision-making, and contribute to sustainable organizational growth. So thank you so much, Dr. Ludgav and Dr. Theorem. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having us.
yeah, thank you, sir. So, while Dr. Ludgav is talking, in case we have any questions, we are going to be taking question after the section. So we can be dropping our question in the chat box pending the time they finish their lecture. So you have the floor, sir, Dr. Ludgav.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Scholar Musbau and Scholar Samuel. I used to call him Baba Physics. By the way, you've not projected my slides. Uh-huh. Please, could you confirm also that the slide is moving?
Yes, sir. It's moving, sir.
Yeah, good. So, good afternoon once again, and thanks a lot for inviting me. And I would like to appreciate you and your colleagues, Scholar Samuel, and all other, member of the executive for this year 2025 for all what you have been doing. In fact, you guys, you really, amazed us with all your initiative. Thank you so much. And I pray that God Almighty reward you abundantly. So also, I would like to thank my friend, my brother, my hugger. So we've been on this together, and I'm happy this kind of day. We witnessed this kind of day. So because we started this together around 2016. So thank you so much, Scholar Theorem, for all your contribution. So it might be so difficult to achieve all what we've achieved on HISF without your support, as well as all others admins, Scholar Hussein, Scholar Habib, Scholar Kathir, Scholar Yaya, Scholar Obasikore, many as well as all our the founding members. So which time I not permit me to mention each and everyone's name. So thank you so much. We are so grateful, and we pray that Almighty God reward each and every one of us abundantly. So because of the time, the title of my talk, so this afternoon is Scholarship Hunting from Love to Romance Letter. And I would like to depart from the usual way of the kind of topic we used to have, or the type of discussion we used to have on HISF webinar are always based on a particular topics. So maybe how to secure scholarship in the United States of America, for example, how to secure, scholarship, which my Oga Scholar Theorem. So one, that scholarship are many of them. But we think it is very important to have a kind of departure from what we've been doing before, because we see people have been applying and, they've been getting a lot of rejections. So some people are tired. So the morale is low. That's why we think this kind of topic is very important at this point in time. So, and this will be the outline of my talk. So in the first part of my talk, I'm going to talk briefly about scholarship benefit and some of the procedures. So scholarship entails. Then I'm going to talk, more about the stages of the outcomes of scholarship. So as you are going to see, it can be of 3 stages. So whereby you can have love letter, romance letter, as well as, having a kind of a complicated outcome. So then I'm going to move further to talk about why rejections happen, and how are you going to move from receiving rejections to getting acceptance letters. So all these are going to be, a kind of a pathway, so whereby my friend Dr. Theorem is going to build upon. Because once we know why you used to get rejection and how you are going to move from receiving rejection to getting acceptance letters, And the scholar theorem will now, solidify all what I've just said. Okay, now are you going to write some of the documents required from you, such as SOP, the motivation letter, letter of intent, and so on. So because of the time, let us start. Let me quickly ask you this kind of question, my audience. Have you been served a breakfast today? Some people might be thinking I am referring to pounded yam and egusi, or bread and tea. I'm actually not referring to that. So, I got this kind of term 2 years ago when one of my sister was talking to me. I was moody that time, and my sister asked, "Hey, Lugaf, did you receive the breakfast?" I said, "How have eaten this morning?" He said, "No." So that's not a breakfast. No, that kind of breakfast we know probably when you woo a lady, or when you are in a relationship and your wife says, "No, I'm no longer interested again." So that is that. Okay, you can put your answer on the comment section. So I don't need a response now. But some of you who might have engaged now, maybe some of you are already engaged, you are married. So probably you might not receive a breakfast again, but you receive a love letter. So what I mean by love letter is not from your spouse. Now you are engaged. Your wife or your husband might send letter to you from time to time. So, but this kind of letter I'm referring to, so is a kind of letter that comes from scholarship application, as one of the outcome of scholarship application, not from your spouse per se. Like I've mentioned, we all know what scholarship means. So we don't need to stress ourselves giving a kind of a definition. You can see from my slide, you see dollars, you see diploma, and even if people, so one of the reasons I say one of the best reasons why people are even applying for scholarship is because of Kudi, because of the money. So in essence, so you understand what scholarship means. And like I used to make this joke. One of our guys used to say, "Oh, the first time he entered an aeroplane, and was just thanking Almighty God that, oh, thank God I was able to enter this aeroplane. I'm inside this balloon. Even if they are going to send me out again, it will be on the record that I've entered this place." Some people might be traveling that scholar theorem, and some of our extraordinary scholar in the group, they are traveling anytime they want. Some people might prefer that, okay, even if you send me out after sitting inside the plane, I like that. You understand now? So in essence, scholarship is not just funding, it's an opportunity, it's a global exposure, networking, as well as validation, as you are going to see. So there are a lot of benefits of scholarship. One of the benefits is what I've mentioned the other time. You have the opportunity to travel probably by air. And now with the invention of this JACPA syndrome, even some scholars, they don't want to, JACPA because of, what do you call it? They are not applying for scholarship because of education per se. Some want to JACPA to have this kind of a greener pasture offshore Nigeria. So one of the reasons is JACPA. One of the benefits is JACPA opportunity. So then you enjoy through tuition-free education. So you enjoy monthly stipends, dollar, like my guy is having. So then you have access to high-quality mentorship. So you'll be supervised, whether for your master's or PhD, by extraordinary professors across the world. So, for example, if you travel to United States, or you go to any of the European country, or some African countries that are, better than our country. We hope our country will be great one day as well. So you have access to high quality mentorship from these professors. So you have opportunity of career acceleration. So, a course, a master program that might take you 3 to 4 years in Nigeria, you can do that within a year. And a PhD that can, take eternity in Nigeria, you can do it within 3 years to 4 years. So when you have a scholarship. So doing so, you will still be earning. Then you will have a kind of global recognition. But I have to be sincere with you that applying for scholarship is rigorous and it is not automatic. And some people used to think that when they say, okay, now I have first class, even my CGPA is 4.98. That does not automatically translate that you are going to win, the scholarship. Because having a first class is not enough. Thousands of people who you are applying together with, so they have this, kind of grade. So it's about story, about fit, grit, as well as clarity. So in essence, applying for scholarship is very rigorous. And when you apply for scholarship, like I've mentioned the other time, you expect the possible outcome you are going to expect. There are three. And the worst case scenario is that they don't reply you at all. You understand? Like I've mentioned, it is rare that you are going to apply one time and you get admitted. Although we have a lot of scholars, so whereby they apply, once, and they were given the scholarship. But 99% of the time, so you have to apply again before you can secure the scholarship. So in essence, one of the outcome might be complicated. You might not get the response. And when I was in South Africa, when you're applying for a vacancy, they are going to tell you, okay, if you are unable to get us 2 weeks after the program, then consider, after you apply, consider this application unsuccessful. So we have certain type of scholarship like that. So whereby you don't get any response. So from the scholarship body or the organization in charge of the scholarship, then you can have a romance letter. And you can see the emoji, it comes with all the teeth open. So you can have the romance letter, which is a kind of congratulations letter. I'm going to show you. Then last but not the least, so you can have, what I call love letter. Because of the time, so this, a sample of a romantic letter. And actually, it's interesting because we develop this kind of vocabulary on HISF. I don't know if Scholar Theorem could still recall all this love letter, because anytime we got rejection, then around 2016, 2017, we used to send the screenshot into the group. And we started saying, oh, do you still receive another love letter? Then we use this terminology for, a congratulatory message for a romantic letter. So in essence, when you have, when you see them talking about romance letter on the group, know that it's just a congratulatory message. It's just a message that says the scholarship or the funding you've applied for have been granted. On the other hand, look at this. When the first sentence starts with a kind of lecture, or it sounds like people giving you a morning sermon, maybe in your church or in the mosque. So look at this. I received this letter around February last year, and it says, hello, Gafari. I would like to extend my appreciation to you for applying the advertised postdoc position on emergency management position to address stigma. Once I saw that first line, so which is a kind of sermon, I know they want to ask me, so probably they want to give me the love letter. So when you have this kind of letter, it's a rejection letter. You understand now? And okay, this is another example. So because of the time, so now we know that whether you apply, when you apply, you are either going to have the love letter, which is the rejection, or the acceptance letter. You didn't get any response a lot. Many of us here, you will have received this kind of letters multiple times, some 100, in fact, sometimes 80 times. So example, I sent a message to the group earlier this morning about a friend who applied for multiple scholarship, but he got rejections in terms. So, but at the end of the day, he was able to secure the scholarship. So how many here have been rejected by a scholarship body before? Maybe if you received a love letter, you can, count the number of letters you've received. You can put it on the comment section so that people can see. Then we are going to, probably at the end of this lecture, you will see that by the special grace of God, your story is going to change. So when you are rejected by your loved one, or when your spouse served you a breakfast, did you swear Or did you, make an oath not to love people again? No. If somebody is not interested in you again, you go to another person. So should you stop after getting love letter from scholarship body? Should you stop after getting rejection? I don't think you need to stop. So, for example, now, if you are in your kitchen, maybe you are cooking, you want to eat an egg, and you are cutting the pepper, and all of a sudden a knife cuts you while cooking. Do you fear of eating forever? That from this the day onward, I'm not going to cook again. I'm not going to use this knife again. And that's why permit me to say this. Yoruba used to say, "Obegi omolowo, omoso obenu." Obeti shen to ve shetan now. So that is, you are using the knife, and you are injured by the knife you are using, probably to cut your pepper or to prepare the meal you are having. So will you now, because the knife has injured you, will you swear not to eat forever or not to use it again? It doesn't even make sense. So you have to just probably take care of your hand and be careful. So I hope you understand now. So in essence, you should not stop after getting rejection. So rejection is part of preparation. And even if not for scholarship, if you can recount very well from your childhood, when you were in primary school, you will see that at one point or the other, you get rejection. If you didn't repeat a class, you failed a subject, you fail some courses. Even some of us jammed us for more than 2 to 3 times. Some people, they wrote WAEC or NELCO more than 7 times. So rejection is part of preparation. You understand? When you get rejection, I think it is part of it. It's now left to you to see, to sit yourself down and you try to check some of the areas where the problem is, and try to see how you can do to solve some of the problems you are having. So before I proceed to how you are going to stop getting some of this rejection, let me tell you that you are not alone when it comes to this rejection. I must tell you that there was a time whereby I received, for throughout a week, I was getting love letters. And more surprising was that I got one during a day that some of us dedicated for lovers days on February 14th. I'm going to show you the letter. Why some of you are celebrating your with your loved ones. So then the scholarship body also sent me their love letter. Good of you. While I was preparing for my slide, I saw this a tweet from a scholar, Olakunle, and he mentioned these that have received 2 rejection letters in the space of 7 days from institution in connection with Commonwealth shared scholarship. It is not easy, but we continue. Don't forget our motto on HISF: we move. So in fact, we move with that emoji. I hope you understand that. So the fact that you get rejection does not mean you should stop now. So there are thousands of people who have even gotten more than what you've got in the past, and eventually they were able to secure scholarship after that. Okay, now I mentioned that for some weeks I got rejection, and even surprisingly during what you call one of the lovers days. So I got it there. So this is one of the rejection. If you check it, that's February 13th. I shared the one I shared the other time, I think it's February 16 or so. So this is another one. Okay, this is another one on February 16. Oh, I forgot to add the one I got on February 14. So, I didn't allow that to weigh me down. You understand now? So what you have to do is you have to be strategic, and you have to check what are the causes of such rejection. So that's why I'm going to, why rejections happened. It can happen to anybody, even to me. I've received, like I've showed you now, even Scholar Theorem, before he eventually secured the scholarship, he received a lot of love letters. But if he had stopped, probably he won't be a PhD holder at one of the best universities in the world now. So why rejection happened? One of the things I've noticed from those I used to mentor is So is code emailing, improper code emailing. What I mean by code emailing is that, some scholarship requires you to send an email to the professor or to one of your host university, requesting them for to supervise your postgraduate program, probably a master's or PhD. And when people are sending this kind of message, they will just go online and download the message. Or now, with the advent of AI, I'm an advocate of using artificial intelligence, but you have to use it wisely. But some people will now say, okay, now I want to message Professor Okini, please help me write an email. They will not just copy it word for word and send it. That's, a grave mistake. When you are sending a generic email like that, they won't take you serious. You understand? I won't go deeper here because Scholar Theorem will be talking more about it. Another one is weak SOP, letter of motivation or letter of intent. We know we have a repository that contains tons of these letters on our group. Some people will just go there and harvest it, not minding who have written it before, not minding which program the scholar applied to. They will just copy and paste it, bam, and they submit. So you are going to get rejection. You are going to get rejection. So I used to tell people, if you want to use an AI, write it in your own word first. You have your stories to tell. So you had a lot of experiences you want to share with the scholarship committee. Write it yourself and probably send it to one of your mentors to review it for you. Another one is for recommendation letters. So some of us, for example, some peoples in Nigeria, because we at times when people are saying the truth. In one of the study I ran, we found out that when you are loyal, or people perceive you as not loyal when you are pessimistic, probably about what they are doing or about their organizations. What I'm trying to say in essence is that some professors in Nigeria, they know that they won't write you a good letter. Probably you are not in good term, but they won't want to offend you. They will say, hey, okay, you can send it. And they will just write maybe one paragraph or two paragraphs of letter that, hey, please, I highly recommend Scholar Luga for this scholarship. That's not kind of recommendation letter they are requesting from you. So it has to be detailed. So a person recommending you, he must state all your strengths and weaknesses, and he or she must back it up. Back it up with reasonable information about you. So another one is on clear research goals. For example, those in PhD. So you want to do your PhD. Which question are you trying to ask? What are the methodologies are you using? Have you reviewed some literatures? Not that you just go to ChatGPT and prepare a research proposal for me. So if you don't do that perfectly, I'm afraid you might still be getting rejections. So wrong fit for the program. Some people will just say, okay, now hey, I want to go to US. I need this scholarship badly. I need to jackpot from this country. They just start, applying to numerous scholarship, not minding of the instruction, not minding whether they qualify for it or not. So because if you don't need to apply to all these, scholarship, check if you actually, qualify or you are fit for the program. If you are qualified for the program, for example, now I'm a mathematician. Although if you can demonstrate that you are going to be fit for the program, you can apply to it. But somebody from arts and is applying for a PhD in mathematics, automatically you are going to receive a love letter. Another one, because of the time, is weak CV and lack of extra curriculars. So not follow instruction like I've mentioned. And when you apply too late or you apply too broadly, you understand now. So then you are going to get a rejection. How to move, because I can see Scholar Musbao asking me to stop. But how do you move from receiving love letters? Again, you have to reflect and you react. So what are your problems? Do you just copy information online? If you do so, then you have to change from now on. So do you have a mentor who is guiding you? So even if you are if you can construct a good English, you still have to, see somebody who is more fast in the area of the scholarship, what they need. You have to tell them so that they read it and offer you, some advice. Then you seek feedback, if possible, from the scholarship body. You can write, Professor Lagbaja, so I found that you rejected my application. Why did you? Could you have to be respectful anyway. So could you kindly, give me some kind of feedback on my application? Some of them are going to reply you. So then you revise your document. So if you have been using all these downloadable SOP online, and they are not part of what they are not part of your story. So you have to sit down and write another one. Yeah, get mentors, and good. Some of you are on HISF. So if you are just joining us for this first time, I think you can send your application so that people can add you, and you see a lot of mentors. So that if you have any question on scholarship opportunity, they are going to tell you. Then you have to apply again, but smarter now. So even if you have 10 rejection, keep applying. You have to be consistent. I think we've given a kind of a lecture on this group, and the topic was about consistency in applying for scholarship. You have to be consistent. Don't say, hey, I got rejection today. And some people will just apply for one scholarship and they stop. No, you have to keep applying so that you have a lot of application in the pool. So out of them, there is probability that you are going to get one. So then you have to tailor your application to a particular scholarship. You have to be strategic, and you have to document your rejection like I've done now. So because at the end of the day, when we ask you to give testimony on the good, you will say that, okay, guys, don't worry. I've also lost this type of scholarship, but now I've won this type of scholarship. You have to document them. Because of the time, rejection isn't a dead end. It's a redirection. Every romance letter started from love letters. We ask every scholars, they have received one love letter or the other. So before they actually got a romance letter. So the goal is not just acceptance. It is becoming the kind of person they cannot reject anymore. You understand now? So in essence, when next you see a love letter, smile and say, I'm coming back stronger. I'm going to get a romance letter one day. So because of the time, I'm going to stop here again. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and I wish each and every one of us good luck in our application. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Scholar Ludgaf. Thank you so much. That has been an insightful section. It's really great. So you said one thing that stuck with me, right? You said the goal is not just acceptance, it's becoming the kind of person they cannot reject. I think that is a very strong word that I think everybody should run with. You should become somebody they cannot even reject. Thank you so much, Scholar Ludgaf. So we are going to be moving to the second part of our section by inviting Scholar Theorem to talk about the other part. So I will enjoy us to sit tight and listen to his part as well. We are going to attend to all questions at the end of the section. Thank you very much, everyone. You have the floor, Scholar Theorem.
All right, thank you, the moderator, for having me. Good day, everyone. It's midnight here, so but let me say good day. So actually, yeah, I'm happy to be here today, and I want to first of all thank the organizer of the program. I want to thank the moderator, and I want to thank my mentor, Scholar Dr. Lukav. He's one of a kind. It's not like I'm trying to make mouth about him, but sincerely, I've been meeting people in life, but I can say his kind is rare. Like, sincerely speaking, it's not just by making mouth, because since we are doing here now, like the one we are having now, is what some people are doing, and we like charge for 500,000, 1 million, and the likes. But Scholar Lugab has always been like, pioneering this kind of initiative for free, not just scholarship alone. Even outside scholarship, we talk of maybe all this jam tutorial, mathematics tutorial, English language proficiency exam tutorial, and many more. So I would like as many as possible who are online to please help me give Scholar Lookup a thumb up or a like on YouTube. He's a mentor, and he's more than a mentor. And I don't know, don't let me just talk much, but I really want to appreciate him for this initiative. Okay, yes. Without wasting time, the topic before us today is about scholarship applications, and talking about document step-by-step guide as regards scholarship application. So I sincerely, Scholar Lugab has done justice to the topic, even more than enough, and I would just like make some addition and try to probably portrait at some point based on the topic I was given. So, like I said, he talked about rejections. Yes, majority of people who have been a scholarship applicant in the past can attest to the fact that we are all a victim of rejection, except from few people, very few, probably maybe like 2% of applicants. But because you know how competitive scholarship can be these days, and hardly do they pick many people. For example, now like HKPFS, on the average, they pick like just two Nigerians in a year. So that means imagine how many applicants, thousands, and they are just picking just two Nigerians in a year. Likewise, many other scholarship too. So it's not that easy, and it's not a small work or an easy job to be a scholar. Okay, let me present my slides. Uh, okay, let me share my screen. Please, I would like to confirm if you can see my slide.
Don't
All
yet.
right.
I think Scholar Musba is going to take it in.
Yes, I'm adding it to the stage right now. Yes. Yeah.
Can you
We
see
can
my
see it.
slide?
Yes, sir, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So, essential document for scholarship success, a step-by-step guide to a winning application. And rejected, yes. Have you ever been rejected? That's the questions. Yes. I know most people here have been rejected at one time or the other. And why we have been rejected must have been most likely based on the documents, based on one step or one guide we have missed out in our application. So I want us to listen well, and let's probably talk and see how we can. It's not just about the rejection, it's about learning from the rejection. Up till now, I'm still getting rejection, because it's not just scholarship, you get rejection. Rejection exists everywhere, work, everything, publications. So it's not just like about scholarship alone, but like when I get rejection for publications, what I always ask myself is, what have I missed out? What is the exact thing that this journal is looking for that I did not present? So, and this has helped me, in getting better day by day. At first, I used to get desk rejection, but now my work has been going for review, and some have been accepted, while some are also being rejected. So it's about learning about the reason behind those rejections that actually matters. It's not about the rejection per se. So yes, why documentation matters. Yes, documentation is very important because, one, first impression, people will tell you that it lasts forever. Yes, that's the truth. And when some people need some application, just you maybe in considering application, the first page alone or the first maybe document to view can even disgust you, and you trash source application. I've been in that shoe, and I'm going to show you something now. Let me see if probably I'm trying to present uh, an Excel file. Can you see this Excel file?
Yes, yes.
Excel, okay. I just wanted to confirm. So recently, I posted this in the group and also on my LinkedIn page. Uh, ANHSK, that's Association of Nigerian Scholars in Hong Kong. We launched an application for scholarship, like what's call it? We call it application fee payment. So we like want to sponsor people who can actually pay for application fee for their postgraduate study in Hong Kong. So we launched an application, and we received a lot of application. I think over 300, if I'm not mistaken. So, and one of the criteria we listed our criteria for application and the guidelines. And like I said, documentation matters. So, majority of the applicants are first class, because one of our criteria is like, this application is just for first class alone. So, I'm part of the committee, and I also make some evaluation, but I was surprised at the kind of evaluation, at the kind of application I received. So, as a member of the committee, I was appointed a sum of, I think, 48 applications 48 submissions, and I was asked to pick maybe best five. But you'll be shocked that I couldn't even pick best five. I was only able to pick just four. And this four is just an initial screening. I've not even read the SOP or anything. It just, what they call like technical uh, um, screening. And I was surprised that a lot of people miss out. Likewise, my other colleagues too. They said some of them even managed to pick just 4 or 5 because, and these are first class, so this is embarrassing to be sincere. Why? People fail even from the documentation aspect. Now, let me show you the criteria I use for my technical screening. I removed their name, so I think I'm able to maintain confidentiality about the application. So no names. So as you can see, we said, please provide an expression of interest, like write an email of expression of interest. And you could imagine that despite being a first class, some people still missed out writing an expression of interest, something of just 100 words. And they just sent in their documents. No simple email, nothing. They just attached document and they sent it. First class for that matter. This is how people miss it out from scholarship. So another thing is AI. I was shocked that people are sending me an AI document to review. So I do think I'm going to be more like proficient than AI. Let's be sincere. We all know that AI is being designed for things like this. So now if you use AI to write completely and you are sending to me to evaluate, you're already out because this is a competition. So I cannot evaluate your document based on AI. You can get hints from AI, but using AI, as you can see, this is someone that I got 100% AI. You can imagine somebody that just use ChatGPT 100%. We'll see another person 100%, we'll see another person 100% like that. So all these people are already disqualified. So that's why you will see that they were painted white. Another thing is what counts. This also counts in application. Where you are giving instruction is very, very important. We said give us a maximum of 500. As you can see, some people are writing 706. Maybe, I don't know whether the extra 202 is the one that's going to give you the scholarship. I don't know, but these are a lot of people that adhere to the instruction given. So another thing is the grade. A lot of people fulfill that criteria, and okay, and maybe other comments. So documentation matters, and there is a need for us to always listen to what actually counts in applications. So because this is what will lead to the screening of the application, whether you even pass the technical evaluation or not, or maybe you are going to the next level of the application or not. So it's very, very important. And don't forget, you control your application quality based on what you submit. Very, very important. So, yes, my next slides talks about the outline. So we'll be discussing about the CV, statement of purpose, recommendation letters, and others as projected. Yes, let's talk about CV. So we have many type of CV, but basically we have about, I think, just academic and professional CV. Since this is an academic gathering, I don't need to talk about professional CV. So I will just discuss about the academic CV. And academic CV, what are you expected to see in an academic CV? The education, work experience, published articles, award, leadership, etc. And okay, yes, this is one of the mistakes people make in application. I've done this because I review for a lot of people, which is overwhelming at times. When sometime in a week, I have about 4 or 5 people sending me, and I have a lot of tasks to meet up. So, but well, sometimes I tend to the ones I can meet up, and sometimes I ask others to either wait or look for another reviewer. Okay, so one of the mistake I notice is like people always write more than 2 pages. You can imagine someone seeking for PhD or master's scholarship or admission, and like something happened this year, maybe around February. Somebody said me a CV. She's a lady, even from ISF, and her CV was 15 pages. Why 15 pages? 15 pages of what? I'm sorry to use the word nonsense. Why? Because he was just writing a lot of things as fun and every using it as one line. 15 pages. I said, oh, 15 pages. Just an MSc holder having a CV of 15 pages. Nobody with, I don't know, maybe other part of the world, but like in Asia, especially in Hong Kong where I am here, once your CV is more than 2 pages, it will be trashed away. Like nobody cares, no matter what you have. So now this is the way to it. I'm going to show you my own CV and tell you what I usually do for each application. So For example, now, this is my main CV. As you can see, this is about, okay, this is my main CV, which I do update day by day. So I'm trying to project it. Please, can you confirm you can see it on screen? Can you see my CV?
Yes, Prof.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
Okay,
can
okay,
see.
okay. So this is 5 pages, but I will never use this CV for any application. But because this is how I work, I have my CV which I update every day or anytime I'm privileged. So now when I want to use for an application, I will now look for what actually, like what actually fits the application from these 5 pages, and I'll now come out with my 2 pages. That's how I work. So if you can have a 13 page, just have it as a reserved CV. But for every application, I usually create a folder, whether it's a job, scholarship, anything, I will create a folder for it. So I've now picked the appropriate document inside those folders. So like this now, these 5 pages. And from these 5 pages, now this is one of the CV I use for job. And as you can see, how many page? This is two. Can you see it? 2 pages. So this is what I will use for a job. If I have another job, I will go to my 5 page, look for what fits that job, and try to carve out my 2 pages. Now I will show the 5 page and show the 2 page. I will see that the 2 page is still like a good representative of my 5 pages. So in a CV, your name is needed as I've projected. And don't forget, this is not a must you follow this format. This is just my own format. So I'm not saying it's a must you follow this format. You can follow any format, but I just wanted to point out the essential things you need in your CV. That's the essence of projecting it. It's not to tell you that this is the only format or this is the correct format or so. No. So I'm not enforcing my CV format on you. So you have your name, very important. You have your phone number, very important. Your address, very important. If possible, put your office address. I usually use my office address because I can change my residence at any time. Then your email, then if possible, your LinkedIn. If not your LinkedIn, you can use your Scopus, your Google Scholar link, or any other academic related link. Then sometimes people call it career statements, they call it profiles, some people call it personal statements, some people call it objective statement or so. Just have something small to, a kind of maybe biography just to talk about you. So anything. Then from there, people also always put like maybe like work experience. Why some people put education? I prefer to make education first before work experience. But I think either of the two is fine. So if you prefer to use work experience as first, then you can put education next. But I usually put my education first. Now, let me say this under mistake that people make. People will try to put in their WAEC, even primary school. These are not needed. Just start from your BSc. Only BSc alone is alone. So from BSc, if you have any other additional certification that you can add. But if no, just your BSc alone is okay. But if be sometimes I will see a lot of people putting in their secondary school details, primary school, and all those things. I think those primary school and secondary school are needed for maybe federal government work. And that is why I said this is an academic CV, not professional CV or job CV. So you put your BSc, and since I have BSc, MSc, and PhD, I put all the three. And also put your course. I've seen some CV without course with all their program of study. And also your grade, whether some people like to put in their maybe CGPA, while some people like to put in just their grade alone or class of degree. So I love to put my own class of degree, not CGPA. So you put it there. Then followed by your work experience. Now, for your work experience, like I stated there, just 3 job function is okay. I do see a lot of CV that people feel like 10 job functions. Why 10 when you can use just put key 3 points is okay. And I think that's fine. These are the way to reduce the number of content you have in your CV. So as you can see, I only put 3 content per each work experience, 3 content, like 3 bullets, as you can see, 3 bullets to give details of those job description for each work experience. So thereabout. And all this, like as you can see, some people say I don't have work experience. Why we say you don't have work experience? Look at this. Now, this is an intern. That's the normal 6 months CWS we usually have during our uh, BSc program. So you can put it as work experience. You say you don't have work experience. What about NYSC? You could see that I put my NYSC and even Empower. So it's part of work experience. Like teaching assistant, it's not a must you have a kind of former teaching assistant. So far, you have been helping your supervisor, your professor in school, you can put it as teaching assistant. So all these things can count as work experience. So I need to be fast because still have a lot to cover. Then, okay, I added my research area. This is not a compulsory part, especially if you want to carve out 2 pages. But for I just like I said, this is just like my reserved CV, not the one I use for applications. So I put my research areas, I added my publications. Then from there, I added the peer review activities I've done in the past. I added the conference or workshops. Then from there, I added my honors and award in the past. I added my certifications. I added my professional membership. I added my leadership roles. I did my proficiency, my hobbies, and my reference. Now look at it, these 5 pages. So now look at my 2 page CV. So same information now, but I try to now make a reduced version of it. So here I just make use of the key work experience. As you can see, just three, one, two, three, because what I wanted to use it for then was related to finance. So I just made sure that this is my key work experience, which is the graduate assistant at Zenith Bank, while others are just like additional work experience. So I just put the key three work experience. Then for the publications, I don't need to list any publications. I only try to create a link for my Google Scholar, which I added. So if they click on this link, it will take you to my Google Scholar page where you have all my publications. This will reduce the number of pages you have in your CV. Then the conference and workshops, the award, I put in the key awards. For the professional membership, I reduced it to just 6 this time. The leadership roles, proficiency, then certifications, and I have my 2 page CV. So the end of saying this is like stop sending out more than 2 page CV, especially when you don't have what it takes. Even professors here abroad have 2 page CV for most applications, and they have their main CV too that has about maybe 50 pages and the likes, maybe for some special events or so. So don't mix it out. Have a kind of good CV, revamp your CV, give it a nice format. If you can make it more like maybe colored design and all that, good for you. But I love it simple, and that's why I make my own CV just as simple as the way it is. So that's all about CV. Put in the key things needed. So next slides. Let me project. Okay, personal statement, SOP, LOI, SOI, motivation letter. Uh, SOP means statement of purpose, LOI, letter of intent, SOI, statement of intent, motivation letter. So, and what else of all these personal statements? I know many people here already know, they know many of these, so I can't be divining what is personal statement and they like, because at least many of us will have applied for one scholarship or the other. So, but the areas of all these things, they are all similar, whether personal statement, whether SOP, LOI, SOI, motivation letter. The essence is for you to tell your story, who, why, how, goes, to introduce yourself, tell us about your academic background, your work, research experience, your career goal, and why this program. So these are the essence of all these personal statements. But there is one thing I would like to emphasize here, and I want you to take note of this. Many people miss out a lot of things in their personal statement because they fail to read the instruction. So sometimes the instruction may say, okay, we want to know about this. So go and check any personal statement. They usually write what they needed in those personal statements. So make sure that those highlighted points were thoroughly, crafted. Then you cannot put in additional things, maybe an addendum, maybe other things like, let's say, for example, that I've seen some personal things that will say, okay, tell us about the experience in the past, tell us about this, let me make an example. Because but because of time, I will not be able to be detailed. So okay, like this one of the essays the one that got me HKPFS scholarship. So like this one now, it doesn't just say write a personal statement. It comes in form of questions and instruction. So like this now, this particular scholarship asks 7 questions, just like Commonwealth too. I think in Commonwealth scholarship they used to ask about their own statements also come like maybe 12 questions or 11 questions. I don't know if it has changed, but during our times like 11 questions, and each question will have a kind of word limit. So like this, now they say, please describe your past experience or participation in research project. So if I'm going through this one by one, it's going to take much time, but I don't know. I will try. But as you can see, I started look at my first paragraph, and the time we wrote this, though at the time I wrote this was very like long, so no AI then. Unlike now that you people have the advantage of AI. And don't forget, AI is just to give you ideas. If you give you idea, they can now write down based on the ideas you got. Okay, let me write down then paraphrase, do all sort of things. But don't just copy and paste, just like Scholar Luca emphasized. You can't just copy and paste. Even some people, when they want to send code email, they just copy and paste. I saw that on LinkedIn recently, what ChatGPT gave them. And sometimes when ChatGPT is writing things, it will put this kind of bracket that's for you to fill in. So there was this particular applicant that he just copied that same way. He had the ChatGPT fill in your fill in maybe the areas of alignment, filling this, filling that. He copied it exactly and send it out to supervisor. So there was a time this kind of issue trend on social media. So don't be a victim of that, please. So this now talks. He asked about my past experience. As you can see in my first paragraph, I talk about how I was initiated to the world of engineering. I said, okay, since I was two, I love to improvise, repair, craft, and spend a lot of time depending on things no one else considered necessary. Then, as a child, I would pick up scrap metals, discarded wires, disposed magnets. I would believe that there might be something I could make out of them. During my high school days, then, I used to be a vibrant member of a group comprised of young future engineering aspirants with an innovative mindset aimed at solving social problems. This group, under my leadership, did primary research led to the fabrication of an electric heater at no cost, using disused materials such as milk can, tomato can, asbestos, and cable. This invariably marked my initiation into the world of engineering research. Reading this way is a kind of something that we actually, captivate your mind as a reviewer or as a maybe the committee evaluating this kind of tool. Say, okay, wow, so this person, got the idea of being an engineer right from secondary school. And this thing I wrote here is just packaging. Because I know many of us have done this in the past during our young, our teenage or maybe when we're still young, then that we used to do this can. I don't know. I know many of us must have done that. Like use this tomato can and pick and use asbestos, put them, connect wire. Those play now. We used to do that. So it's just a normal play. Let me be sincere with you. I didn't lead any young future engineering aspirants, but I've done this in the past. But I didn't lead. What I just mean that I remember that we used to practice it as friends. That let's do it out. Oh yeah, do this. Let me know for asbestos. So and I try to package it to look as if something sellable. That's it. But I've done it. But I already said that I package it to in terms of what, not actually. So packaging is very, very important. And from there, I mentioned about when I was in university days, when I was student union, I used my initiative to solve a student union problem, which is an engineering problem, the solar issues and all that. So time will not permit me to go through the whole essay because the essay is about how many pages, maybe about I don't know, maybe about maybe 8 pages or so. So I will just stop here and use word of mouth to explain some other things. So what I'm trying to say is like the essence of the SOP is to sell you, and in selling yourself, tell a story. Especially your first paragraph is the most important part of the SOP. If your first paragraph cannot captivate the mind of the reader, then it's as useless as anything. Let me be sincere with you. Just like same thing applies to even all these journals, manuscript, and the likes. Once you write your abstract or your introduction cannot captivate the mind of the reader, it's as useless as that's why you see that some manuscript will be rejected with just one sentence. And that's all. Just one sentence. Because once just say, okay, please reject this paper, it's not, there is no novelty, there is nothing worth reading in this paper, and the work will be rejected. So let your statements, tell your story. Let it be captivating. Let it shows a kind of passion in you as regards that work. And let me make this correction. Unlike in the past, that a lot of us start with all this, I'm a poor and indigent student, but brilliant and all those things. Those stages have passed. Nowadays, I doubt if such things sells in the market. So don't come with all these essays of I'm poor, I'm poor. I think nobody reads all those kind of essays again. It's about what you have to give, which problem are you solving and all. So that's what actually counts. So, but like I said, the key point here is read the instruction well for every personal statement, because instruction by each personal statement differs. What they want most of the time they usually state it. Fulfill those points, then make some additional things that you feel to also add to those statements. So recommendation letters. This is very, very important. And look at the first thing I projected there. I said who to ask. This question is as important as any. It is a very crucial one, and I want us to take note of this. Who to ask for recommendation letters. A lot of people have asked their enemy to write recommendation letters, and their enemy has been able to, to do them what is called strong thing. I was a victim in the past. I'm telling you the truth. There is a man in my department that then I used to tell me, "Oh, go and apply for scholarship. Put my name as recommend." There are some time. I don't know if you remember. For those who are used to application, they will say, "Do you want to waive the right to view the?" I don't know. Some can attest to that. There is this kind of information. So
The
there was a time
US application. Yeah.
US applications. So there was a time I didn't waive that right for one application. So I saw what this man actually, rated me, and you won't believe that was just rating me middle scores. There is this application that most application nowadays is about filling questionnaires of all these 5-4, all this kind of assessment. So the man just rated me middle, like 3, all true. We have all this 1 to 5, maybe 5 IS. And they ask questions about creativity and all those things. So I was like, oh my God, this man gave me 3 all true. So I just, since that time, I stopped using that man. So don't ask, be sure of the person you're asking. And if possible, if it's someone that you can, sir, can I see what you write for me, if possible, before submitting the application? And that was why, when I wanted to correct that issue, I went to my other supervisor with their professors. I told them, sir, I frustrated. This is my career. I want to further my study. Please do me well, if you don't mind. And this is another way. If you want to use a recommender or a referee to recommend you, always write a draft to them. Though some of them will not use it, but at least if you write, some of them who are reasonable will use it, because one is like most of them already. Let's say, for example, you've left school for like 3 years. Tell me, how will a lecturer that have not seen you for 3 years know your maybe latest status
Capabilities.
Yeah, exactly. No, he will not know. So most of the time, what I do for my advisor is like, I will write. I say, this, sir, I've attached a draft of my recommendation, which can be useful for your own, use and all that. So, and sometimes some of them use it directly like that and just put other things, and some of them just pick some important points from those recommendations. And I also attach my CV so that I can know the latest update about my career and all that. So, but you can't just say, sir, write a recommendation for me. You didn't give the person draft. You didn't give the person your latest CV. So what do you expect to write? And people do send me, requests to write a recommendation for them. And I will tell them, what will I write for you? These are people I've never met in my life before. So if you don't tell me anything about you, give me like a sample, your CV, I will just write the common thing of he's good, he's fine, just like Scholar Lugav said. And which I've seen a lot of people. Even, do you know that why I usually say you should choose your recommender or who to ask your recommendation is this? I remember Scholar, I don't know if Scholar can remember, there's this Scholar, is this Sammy in Canada? This is our albino scholar. I've forgotten his name. I think Scholar Luga, can you remember that?
Scholar Arawu Samuel.
Yes, Scholar Arawu. There was a time he made an application that the recommendation the person sent was an obituary letter. You won't believe it. Yes. Yeah, I remember that scenario then, that the recommendation, so the school have to write back and say, sorry, your recommender sent us an obituary letter instead of recommendation letter. So make sure you choose somebody who is actually, what's writing recommendation for you, not someone that is impatient and all. So that is very, very important. And like I said, always attach your CV to every recommendation and always send a draft. That's what I do. And let me tell you, like I said, who to ask. If you know your supervisor cannot write something good for you, or you can also use some mentors. I very several written recommendation letter for hundreds of people. And sincerely, a lot of them have won scholarship. Yes, a lot, even very big, but a lot of them, even part of their school, present school and all that, they've won scholarship even with my very recommendation letter. So it's not a must that it must be professor. Professor is important. Don't misquote me. Do not misquote me, please. Professor is because that qualifications counts. But in case maybe some people say they didn't get anybody to write recommendation for them, then worst case scenario, reach out to your mentors. Worst case, or one of the recommendation can be also from your mentor. Let's say 2 from professors and 1 from your mentors. and your mentor can be somebody of people like us, Scholar Lugaf and the likes. So that's why I said, do not, inconvenience yourself looking for three professors when you can actually use one of your mentors as a recommender. And always follow up politely with your supervisor, your recommender, to know whether they have. No, some of them will say claim busy and not attend to the recommendation request. So always follow up to say, sir, have you, and also do well to make them happy. We know how Nigeria is. So buy them things, send them recharge card. You can just know, sir, I've loaded you maybe data and all that, because it's not easy. Somebody who doesn't have data and you want him to write a position for you, you also need to do some little things that actually can't. Okay, transcript and certificate. As talking about document you needed an official transcript, and you also needed an official transcript. Official transcript is transcript sent from your school directly to the proposed school. While the unofficial is the one that is your student copy. So the student copy, make sure it is stamped and make sure it is certified. For some countries, they usually require for certification uh, of transcript and the likes. And now, another thing I want to know is, like, a lot of people usually have this kind of mismatch in their result. Make sure you settle that before you start applying for applications. Most schools, once they notice it, they usually reject and even blacklist such applicants. So don't, because I was shocked that during my time, they reach out to check every score. So don't joke with all this mismatch. And some people usually have this kind of bad certificate issue. I know of a scholar even here in Hong Kong that we both won this scholarship together, but he was denied visa. Why? Because the date of birth on their certificate is different from the date of birth on their date of birth. What do you call it? This certificate
Maybe
too.
international passport.
Yeah, international passport. So this mismatch usually cause a lot. And some people now also name mismatch. Some people with maybe on their certificate they will have, maybe for example, Babatunde, and maybe on their international passport they will bear today, and they now be explaining to the consular, and today and Babatunde are the same. Nobody believes that. Don't, make sure if you have any of those issues, resolve them before making application, so that it's not like case of my friend that actually got a very prestigious scholarship in Hong Kong, but got denied a visa. Even after he got denied, he appealed about 3 times. He even did all this affidavit. Even university wrote a letter to support those affidavit and all that. But yet the visa or the immigration office said no, we don't want you. So please make sure that you work on your transcript and certificate, and always ensure that the official transcript of your school has the same like scores and all those things as your your unofficial transcript. That is very, very important. So research proposal. Actually, this is supposed to be a class on its own. I've just tried to brief it because of time. So research proposal is also, this actually applicable to people who are doing PhD or applying for PhD positions. So, and just similar to SOP, research proposal is meant to just give a kind of plan as regards what you intend to do for your PhD or for your MPhil. So, and when you talk about proposal, we all know element of a proposal. You need to have maybe your topic, you need to have probably an abstract, an introduction, your review or literature review. You need to have like your methodology, and let's say maybe significance of results. No, it differs across disciplines, so there is no one way to have the structure, the format of how a proposal should be. So, but what are the key things expected in a proposal? The thing is that your proposal must actually be realistic, must be novel. That novelty is very, very important, because if your
Prof, I
research is,
think we've stopped seeing your screen, sir.
how come?
Oh yeah, I thought you said you are going to be using mouth from now on. That was why I didn't say anything.
Okay, I've been projecting. Okay, let me try again.
Oh, all right, sir.
So for how long has it been like that? For long?
Like yes, for like 10 to 20 minutes, sir. No, is it
Oh
no
my
ten
God.
to probably
It's
ten
not up to
minutes?
that. I just
Yeah.
noticed. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, it's 10 minutes.
okay,
I didn't say anything because I thought he said you use mouth to. That was why I didn't say anything.
okay. I
All
don't know.
right,
Like,
I can I
can you
can
see
see
my
I can
screen
see it.
now?
I can see it now.
Okay, fine. Okay. So research proposal. So the key things, because like I said, it's more like a class or a webinar on its own, because it's not something I can just finish in 1 or 5 minutes. But the main thing is like be novel. That's the essence of research proposal. And let me tell you something. This is one of the secrets to research proposal that I know. You need to think of an imaginary thing and like something that you think that is almost even impossible and bring it as if it's possible. It's a proposal, but just show some kind of what they need in a proposal is just to say your your thinking, the kind of creativity or the kind of maybe innovation you are trying to bring in. It doesn't mean, for example, now let's say, for example, now maybe like I'm working on finance. You can talk about maybe okay, zero risk portfolio, something like that. When you say zero risk portfolio, that means, or you can say towards net zero, like in energy now. People are working on energy research. People now work on what's called net zero carbon emission. But can we actually have a net zero? Can we have a net zero carbon emission? Obviously, no. We can know how do we have zero? But that's most research now. They will say, okay, our work is towards carbon net zero. Like one of the things I'm also working on is towards like net zero risk portfolio. So, but can you actually have zero risk? No. But when you bring out the research, that's okay. This research will actually focus on this area and bring some method. Especially if it's a proposal. A proposal is not like you implement it right away. And let me tell you something. 90, if not more than 95% of all these proposals usually used for application are just for application. By the time you start your program, your supervisor will tell you the area to work on, or probably you can also decide to work on a different area. So don't see it as, oh, do or die of, what about if I propose and I'm not able to fulfill it? This is just for application. If not resume research, by the time you resume, most likely it's going to change. Or most likely also decide to change. I changed my research area like 5 times. So, and the 5 areas are never the same. There was a time I was working on space engineering, like normal space. There was time I was working on smart city. There was time I was working on AI in safety before I later conclude on AI in finance. So what I'm trying to say is like, don't be like, oh, what about this thing did not later work? So research, like just like name implies, research. So if you research it and doesn't give a result, you think of another way or leave it for someone coming behind you to do something. But make sure it is very, very novel and very, very captivating. So yeah, standardized tests for the document, just part of what I've listed before. You need standardized tests like TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo fall under English test. Yes, some people claim Nigeria is a native English country or so, but most international schools will say no. So it's better you do it, but if you cannot do it, there is this letter called medium of instruction letter, or some people call it English proficiency letter, that you can get from your school that can replace all this exam. I mean, English proficiency exam. If you can get them, fine. But like I said, most schools will still insist that you must write this exam. So if you know you can afford it, write the exam. But if you cannot afford it, then you can do all this tug of mail, like writing. And I do that a lot because I couldn't afford the exam too. So many times when school tell us you cannot pay allocations because you don't have, then we start, why won't you pay my allocation? I have this, my study was in English and all those stuff. I attach my proficiency letter and all that and my MOI. So it all depends. But if you have the money, write English proficiency exam. Also GRE, GMAT, SAT. GRE and GMAT is for graduate school, while SAT is for maybe undergraduate. And these exams too, they actually test your quantitative and qualitative reasoning. So if you have the money, write them. They also actually boost your chances of winning scholarship, especially for US. And if you cannot write it, just look for schools that actually waive it. So that's very important. Then tips and resources. Yeah, in the group, we have a lot of links to these tips and resources for whether past SOP, past GRE materials, GMAT, IELTS. So and there are many links online too that you can get. So just make sure you look for that. And also, yes, this is a very, very important part of the whole thing. Last year I have about 3 of my mentees that they got admitted, they got a scholarship, everything works, but their visa were rejected. Why? Because their passport has less than 6 months validity. I'm telling you. And the country they process was actually Italy. And if anybody is familiar with Italy application, it takes a lot of time. So before they reach the stage of visa stamping and the likes, it took them about 9 months. And when they now got to this stage, you couldn't believe that they denied them visa and said, your passport is less than 6 months, and we are sorry, we cannot approve your visa. We cannot approve your visa. And as a result, they have to go and look for date again. And date searching for countries like Italy and the likes takes months. So they couldn't meet up with the admission and all that, just because of this simple of reason of 6 months. So if you are a scholarship applicant and your passport is less than 6 months validity, make sure you go and do the reissuing, or I don't know, renewal of the passport. So that's very important. And also make sure that your passport is scanned in colored, and also all other documents. Don't scan your documents in white and black. So have a kind of soft copy of all your application documents and make sure they are scanned in colored. That's very important. So as regards consistencies, I told you about this earlier, that your name on your passport be consistent. Don't bear Tunde on one passport and probably on certificate you be bearing Babatunde. It to you that which really makes sense, and to you it may be like the same thing, but to international body it's totally a different name. So please be very, very careful of that, and be aware of the expiry of your document, maybe your passport and some other things. Very, very important. A financial document too. For some countries, you may need like bank statements. Make sure you have this like before. Like have it in handy, like ahead of the application. If probably are reading it, for example, like US, you will need like to get your what do you of this thing? Is it I-20? Yes, you may need your bank statement, and also maybe for the visa processing too. So make sure you work ahead to have all these documents on ground prior to making your visa application. And common mistake to avoid typos in all your essays, all your documents, and the likes. A coupling template of people. Make sure you are original. That's very, very important. Be consistent in the information you give. Avoid late submissions. That's very, very important. And make sure you tailor your documents towards every application. That's why I said always have a folder for each application. Sorry. So checklist for a winning application. These are the things I've already mentioned. Your CV, your statement, be sure that all these things are ready before starting your application, your valid passport, and make sure that you always check the timeline to know that you don't submit, you don't make a late application. That's very, very important. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you, as I look forward to questions from the audience. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Scholar Dr. Terry. Sorry for that. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate. Okay, so this is the end of our section. So we are going to be moving to the Q&A section now. So we have some questions already in the chat box. I'm going to be putting it on the screen and reading it out to either Scholar Lutgaf or Scholar Terrell. So we can keep dropping our question in the chat box. We are going to attend to them. Thank you very much. The very first question we have here is, I'm going to put it on the screen, from Damilola at Kintade. He said, oh, I'm coming. Okay. He said, I was rejected this month based on, oh, this is not the first one, sorry. Yeah, this is it, yeah. From Daniel Olusegun. He said, I was waitlisted early this year from one of the prestigious scholarship in Europe because there was no funding for me. Moreover, I was encouraged to reapply next year. Please, what do you think I should do better come next year? So, Scholar Ludgaf, I think you might want to take this, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Because of the time, what you have to do is you have to sit down again and watch some of what Scholar Dr. Theorem have just presented. So you have to fine tune some of your document. Probably you might be making some of these mistakes myself and Dr. Theorem have highlighted. So if you've been making this mistake, then try to improve on the document. So if you think your letters are in line, so it might be the case that there are a lot of people applying. But I want to advise you that when you are applying next time, so you have to motivate that, okay, now you are applying again. Probably this is your second time of applying. And, I'm still applying again because of so reason. And you state how, the scholarship aligns with with your probably your future plan or your career plan. So you have to apply again. So you should not get tired. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Scholar Lutgaf. So we have a similar question here from Richard. So I said I have received countless love letters, placed on wait lists, but hopefully to get improved and reapplied next year. So Scholar Theorem, just a word of encouragement for Mr. Richard. Please, can you say one or two to him?
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Like I said, see love letter as part of it as a lifestyle. Sometimes, sorry for using that word, but like for example, now I don't know if someone have ever experienced this in there. I got 9 rejection in a single day during my time. 9 rejections, and why it was nine, 10 was this. If somebody, I don't know if some people are familiar with Commonwealth. So then Commonwealth, every school is a single application on its own. I don't know if it has changed now. So, and I remember that day I woke up in the morning and what I saw was 9 rejections. So I don't know if one could be like if anyone have ever experienced such kind of rejection in his life. So when you get that, just you say don't quit, but you can always take a rest. So just see how you can take a rest, strategize, and put in again. Also, this same Hong Kong that I got, I also applied twice. It wasn't once. I applied the first time, I missed out, and I applied again. So likewise, and if we're talking about rejection, I have more than 200 rejections. So you can't mention one scholarship in the world I've not applied for. Like talk of Erasmus Commonwealth, especially the popular one. So I've applied, just mention it. So what I'm saying is like don't give up. And two, work with like minds. So that's even one of the reasons why I said that Scholar Luca has been a blessing. So then he always encourages us, likewise many other scholars in the group, like don't give up. Sometimes you check on me. So when you work with the right mind, have the right mentors, they always give you this kind of motivation and this kind of encouragement. So and also some people who complain of these love letters don't even make much application. Make as many as possible. Like I said, till now I'm still getting love letters as regards let's say publications and the like. So, but still, you just have to live with it and keep. And like I said, lastly, always note how to improve on the previous ones. So that's just the secret. Okay, what do you miss out? What do you miss out? Okay, is it like I didn't give out my work for an external person to review? Is it like I didn't do this? Is it like I didn't improve on my like all these MOOC courses? Do them. Most of them are free, Coursera and the likes. Just keep improving yourself and I'm very sure that success will come. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Scholar Theorem. So the next question we have here is from Miss from Damilola Akintade. So the question is, I was rejected this month based on the length of years between my secondary school education and the period of my BSc. What should I do? Scholar Ludgaf, I think you might want to take this up.
Well, to answer this question very well, I would like to ask for the type of scholarship the scholar actually applied for. But that is strange because, like Scholar Theorem also mentioned, I used to discourage people from adding their high school inside their CV. So, I did being the scholar, I've done that. So I'm afraid such question might not comes up. So, but if he or she, well, I won't advise, I won't recommend her to include the high school on her CV. But if you want to do that, of course, you have to probably motivate since you've been rejected because of that. Then you can motivate, okay, where you were probably, I don't know what happened, more than us, probably jump you, but you have to tailor it in such a way that it will give more weight to the application rather than crucifying you. But I don't think it will be, a foreign scholarship. I'm afraid they might not have rejected you because of that. Maybe the scholar was referring to one of the in-house scholarship in Nigeria. So I stand to be corrected. Scholar Serem, do you have anything to say on that?
I think you said it though. He shouldn't have put his secondary school details, and I doubt if any scholar will be asking for your secondary school details nowadays. So maybe the person have made the mistake of putting in the details. Maybe in subsequent application, stop just remove anything secondary school education from your CV application.
All right. Okay. So that goes for Scholar Kintade. I think you can put the answer to our scholars question in the chat box. So the next question I have here is this. Thanks for the ongoing section. Is it compulsory for a recommender to mention one's weakness in letter of recommendation? I will be glad if this is attended to at the end of the section. So Scholar Theorem, I think you might want to take this, sir.
Okay, yes. As regards this, like you said, it's the recommender, so you should know best. But I don't think you should put anything like weakness. And if it's going to put something like weakness, there is a way people carve the weakness that it even look like a strength these days. You can
Yeah.
put something that look like a strength, like okay, when you see somebody can work under pressure, so you put it as a weakness, like that. And so you can put like maybe okay, is I think. Um, he's someone that paid attention to details that he will never maybe progress until he achieve that goal. But there is a way you can actually, package it and make it look like a strength, even though you're putting it as a weakness. But left to me, if you use the right person, you shouldn't be writing something like weakness in your LOR. So I don't know. Maybe Scholar Luga would like to add to that.
Yeah, you've said it all, sir. So it's not compulsory for a recommender to mention a candidate weakness in their letter, and that's why Scholar Theorem suggested that you should ask your friend and not your enemy to write one for you. Like I've mentioned in my talk, in Nigeria, some of us might not be that, you know, some people might not even reject you because they might think they don't like you. So that's why some will just accept it and write whatever. I know of professor with whom a student requested for a letter of recommendation, and the professor said it point blank that I'm afraid I might not be able to write you because I have some reservation for you. And the professor mentioned all the reservation he had for the person. But okay, now if you still want me to go ahead with the letter, you can tell me. The person was sincere with his response, but I'm afraid most of the professors in Nigeria, they might not want to tell you that. So, in essence, if they want to, add the weakness, it has to be constructive and framed in a way that shows strength or how the candidate is actively addressing it rather than just something that is going to tarnish your image. So just ask your friend, somebody will trust you. And like he has just suggested the other time, it is good if you can draft because some of these professors, they are very busy. You understand now. So, but if you can write, you draft it, you can just send it to them. So they can just improve on it. Or if what you've written is good, they can just approve it and send it for you. Yeah. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Scholar Theorem and Scholar Lutgaf. Yeah, so the next question we have here is, could having my previous PhD listed on my CV reduce my chances of getting funding for a new one? So, Scholar Lutgaf.
Well, I think it is relative, but I won't suggest that you do that. So because if you do that, it opens a lot of question. Because I've once been in your own shoe, I had two PhDs. So, but people can testify while I was running. My friend knows that anytime they give me lecture on HISF, I used to, dodge it somewhat. So, if you're applying for another PhD, I don't think it makes sense to, put your current PhD because they will ask a lot. They will be asking a lot of questions. Okay, why did you want to do another PhD? Unless you are willing to explain probably okay now in your first PhD you think something happened, you can give a kind of a strong motivation that will make them it makes sense of you doing another PhD after you've done one before. But if you don't have any cogent reason for doing another PhD, maybe you want to do that just to remain in the country, so I would not suggest that. Yeah, I don't know
All
if
right.
Theorem have
Okay.
contrary opinion
Yeah,
there.
if I should add to it, I think where people have issues about this previous PhDs about maybe their work experience, maybe they already feel that maybe. So what I would just suggest, like what I usually advise my people is like, okay, you can still put that work experience as a research assistant. A research assistant may not be a PhD student, and at the same time may also be a PhD student. So
Yeah.
don't just put PhD research, just say research assistant, research fellow, research associate, or any other name that fits. I don't know, because different school has different name. So with that alone, in case you want to say carve in your work experience, that's why that you don't want to put the PhD. So just put in those things, then just put what you have been doing, then apply. But if you put a PhD, surely to raise an eyebrow and people start to question why are you leaving that lab, what's the issue, do you have any product? So it's better you just avoid those stories by not putting directly that you are a present peer or you already had a PhD. So
All right. Thank you very much. So the next question we have here is from Ms. Zaina Balogun. Please talk about how to get funding for those who got partial funding. I got a partial funding to study in Thailand. Would you advise someone to go for the partial? So that is the so the after that she puts, would you advise someone to go for the partial funding or continue applying until getting a fully funded scholarship? So I think Scholar Theorem or Scholar Ludgab can go with that.
okay. Yeah, if I should talk about partial funding, I do actually advise a lot of my mentees to also consider partial funding. Not everyone will get full funding. And apart from that, not everybody even have what it takes to get full funding. Let's be sincere. Like some people, probably maybe their results, maybe they don't even have any other certifications or so, or anything to justify getting the fully funded, and they are not ready to also pay off in other ways. Like for example, if you have two, maybe you can have publication, but see someone that have two, no publications, no certifications, nothing, all that, no work experience, and they still want to get fully funded. It may be difficult, not impossible, but it may be difficult. So in such case, I do advise them. And for example, even last year alone, I brought 3 people to Hong Kong who actually have two. So I encourage them to apply, and they were able to get like some of them got on 100% tuition waiver. Some of them got 50% tuition waiver. And over a year, like they can actually work, and there's no limit to the time they can work. So,
Of
and
course.
almost all of them have even paid their school fees and they are now fine. Even they are not working, the master is just 1 year. So what I'm saying is like in case you are still very much desired and you don't have what it takes to get a fully funded, take the partial funding and make good use of it. That's my advice.
Okay, yeah, in addition, thanks, Scholar Theorem. I want to say that even if you have all what it takes and you have the money, probably you are giving a partial scholarship, instead of wasting your time, if you have the money, I will advise you to go. And definitely when you get there, I know it's either you get the internal scholarship, probably in your university, or if you are going for the masters, I'm very sure. So by the time you're applying for your PhD, you are going to have higher chances because scholarship is seasonal. So if you apply for a scholarship this season, you don't know what will happen in the next season. So that's why if you have the money, so just go. And apart from that, some people are just looking for fully funded scholarship. There are some countries that offers free tuition fee, like South Africa. They offer free tuition fee, and they are going to employ you in the department, to tutor. I mean, their students to mark or to, supervise examination. So, and you get some money for sustenance, and you have little saving at the end of the day. So, if you have money, so, for example, what Scholar Zainab asked for your Thailand scholarship, if you can afford the money, I will strongly advise you to go. And when you get there, I know for sure. So you won't regret anyway. So just live here. Then when you get there, even if you don't get it during your first program, probably the second year or when you are starting your PhD or so. So you are definitely going to get it. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So we have another question. Then after this, we are going to be taking one more question. Sorry for keeping you up to now. Thank you. So the next question is, my question is, can someone that graduated 11 years ago and age 40 still apply for scholarship? Scholar Ludgaf, I want you to go first. Then Scholar Theorem can buttress on your point.
Yeah, of course. If you have all what it takes, like all these requirements we've mentioned, and you have all these, you have time because scholarship takes time, somebody of 40 years, you might have a lot of responsibilities, which might, prevent you from being consistent. So, but I have to, tell you for free that there are a lot of scholarship bodies, so who, places a kind of restriction for certain ages. I'm aware of countries like Saudi Arabia and some of the Asian countries, even in China. They will tell you for the, okay, for example, for the master program, you must not be more than certain ages. So then I think it will be better if you can confirm. So for some of the scholarship you are, applying for, maybe you satisfy the age requirement so that you won't labor a lot. And when it comes to getting your scholarship letter, they will deny you. So yeah, just confirm. So the from the scholarship body, or you read their eligibility criteria. I'm very sure they are going to put it there.
All right. Thank you very much. Scholar Theorem, do you want to add
In
anything
addition
to
to that, yes, it also matters to know whether the 11 years have been like 11 years of no job or active no job. Because sometimes if it's work experience, there's exception to some maybe research that especially with this industry based. So there are some schools that actually take industry based researchers or students to come for their research, even here in Hong Kong. But that is if you have actually have a kind of substantial work experience in that line. So they do take, but like it will not be general, but there are some maybe specific cases that actually taking people like that. That is if the person used that 11 years for as work experience in that line of research. So it all depends. So, but like you said, most scholarship I think usually cap it at 35, and but there are usually exceptions. So you can actually look for scholarship that has exception to that, or look for scholar that not even put anything like age restriction.
Restriction.
that? All right, thank you. So we are going to be taking one more question from Scholar Zainab before we take the last question. So she said, "I'm going for a master's degree, and I got 70." She thought that she was the one that asked the question about the Thailand opportunity, and I got 70% funding. I would like to know if the scholars can provide information on getting additional funding, probably the one for Nigerians in Thailand. So thank you.
Well, I don't know much about scholarship in Thailand, but I think what you can do is maybe if you know some philanthropists in your area who can assist you. Also, you can browse through the website of the university, and probably you can write to your supervisor whether you are going to. There will be an opportunity of research assistantship or teaching assistantship in the lab, but I know for many of these foreign countries, there used to be, something like that. So it is now left to you to probably to confirm from somebody who is from that university, or your supervisor, or even the graduate advisors. But I know for sure there will be something like that. Yeah. So yeah. But in any case, before you leave Nigeria, just make sure that okay, there is research assistantship, or the supervisor promise you something so that you don't get stranded when you get there.
All right. Thank you very much, Scholar Ludgav. And she sent her regard. Thank you for the information. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we have another person that is thanking Scholar Ludgav and Scholar Theorem. Thank you,
Thank
Scholar
you.
Ludgav and Scholar Theorem. So the last question we are going to be taking for today is from, okay, I'm coming, sir. Uh,
I think
all
there
right.
is one from Segun Ojo here.
Yes, that's the one I want to. Yeah, he said, thanks so much, Scholar Ludgav and Scholar Ture. I really enjoyed your sections. Please, I want to ask the favor of you reviewing my SOP before for 2026 application begin fully next month. So, Scholar Ludgav.
Yeah, I don't think both of us we don't have objection to that. So like he mentioned, once you are paid so definitely you can send it. So and to other scholars in the group on the group. So we are going to review it for you. Yeah, but you have to be patient. And some people used to do is they will send you message today, and the deadline is tomorrow. That please we quickly go through that. that might be difficult because somebody you are talking to, we also have some list of activities lined up. So you have to send it much well in advance. And some people will even send their document to you, but they won't bother to follow up. So yeah, so you have to follow up because probably the scholars might have forgotten or yeah. I don't know, Scholar Theorem. Will you be available to review the document?
Okay, actually, to be candid, just like I said earlier, so I have lots, and like I said, if we are patient, no, right? Because I won't like I have people that the SOP has been like a month now with me, to be candid. So I just told them, it just, and thank God it's not even application season. I think application is going to start maybe next month. So I just told them you still have to be patient. So if you can be patient, it's fine. If you can look for someone else, it's better because, like I said, I still have a lot. But if you can be patient, I will still try my best to see if I can review. Another thing is this, let me be candid. If you can do the work better, sometimes I've reviewed some people's work under at like 30 minutes, 1 hour. Because they've done like 90% of the work. It's just for you to just like probably vet and say, okay, this is fine, or just touch. But some people work require that you do a complete rewording of the whole essay, like complete. So it's
It
another
cannot
thing
be
that
done under
disturbs me.
duress. Yeah.
So if you can, honestly, if you can do a good job, it's something if I can, even if I see it immediately, say I can even attempt to it and give some just few comments. But some people work is just like as if you want to write a new SOP for them, or you want to make a kind of comment by each line, which how tasking that uh, would be.
So
So
good.
that's just it. And lastly, another thing is like, please, if you know you are sending work, don't bother. If it's AI, don't bother to send because you can't write it with AI and send to me. It's just like a waste of time to me. So the first thing I usually do is like when people send me their SLP, I check it on AI. Once I see that it's AI, I just reject it and tell them go and revise or please don't send me this essay again, depending on how close the person is to me. All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar
Yeah,
Ludwig, for
sorry,
contributing.
sorry, Scholar. I would like to just mention that what Scholar Theorem was saying is, I mean, generating or just asking copy completely from AI directly. So I don't think he has objection to brainstorming with AI. You
Boss.
understand now, putting your idea, but just copying and paste what is generated because you are going to know if you see an AI generated content because it won't be specific to you, it will be generic. So that's why it's not, I mean, advisable you use it, please. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Ludgaf and Scholar Terran. I know you've gone through your ways to make this possible. So we really appreciate you for giving us your time, and it's been an insightful section. We really want to thank you so much, and for everybody that wait patiently for us in the comment section, that listen to the lecture, we want to say a very big thank you. Thanks so much for joining us today. So just like final, before we close the section, there's this question that scholar that we've answered already, but I want scholar Lutgab to just talk about it. How can I join HISF?
Yeah, it
So
is very simple. Just message any of the admins. You will be sent a form. You are going to fill that form, send it back to the admin. The admin will send your form to the group, and you are going to be added. So we don't add people automatically because if you add people automatically, it will be spamming the group. And everything has changed. In the first republic of the group, so yeah, Scholar Theorem was known for, I mean, he's been
Patience.
disciplined. You understand that? So he's the chairman of this disciplinary committee. Once you post what is not good, you'll be removed from the group. But now, thanks to WhatsApp, it is possible to delete the message for everyone now. So that's why we don't share the group link publicly. So publicly, we want people who are passionate about applying for scholarship to take that simple pain before they can apply. So just message any of the admin. They are going to send you the form. You return the form and you'll be added to the group. It's very simple. Yeah, any of the admin, and we
Yeah.
have them as many as possible.
all right, sir. Thank you so much, Scholar Ludgaf. Thank you so much, Scholar Tere. We really, really appreciate. So we've come to the end of our section. We are going to be having another section next month. So everybody should do well to join us. We are going to make sure it's going to be a very enjoyable section like this one as well. So thank you everybody and do have a nice day.
Thank you so much for your time. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.